Welcome back to the channel. RevKev RC in the his house once again. In the previous video, we did the unboxing for the new Axail RTR Comp Crawler Coyote. I opted for the blue because that's what they had in stock. I did not go for the gold, even though I want to win, because it came with a battery and charger and it was like $50 more, and I just don't need that. I like the blue. Now, in the previous video, did the unboxing. I ran my mouth about a whole lot of things about this thing. The tires are fantastic. The stock servo is actually pretty good, but I can't leave anything alone. So I am going to go ahead and throw in the 729 MBL, whatever that means. This is the PowerHobby. This is one of my favorite servos, as I have gone on and on about before. But at 6 volts, this thing, because we're going to run it on the stock ESC for now, but at 6 volts, we're still going to get 440 ounces, which is an extreme improvement over the factory servo. I don't even know what the specs are on the factory servo. Doesn't matter. That's going to be much better. And it isn't because this one is weak. It's not weak. What it is slow. And in competition crawling, if you've ever watched, if you're not watching Axail Cage on YouTube, Axail Cage RC, you should. He is kind of an inspiration for me for doing this type of thing, because he's just kind of a regular dude who really loves crawling. He really loves RCs in general. So, you know, not to toot his horn too much, but I do like him, and his videos are very good. But I say that to say, he has a good video about why fast servos, not just strong servos, are very good for crawling, especially when you need to get off an obstacle. So if your servo can twitch back and forth aggressively and violently, it will shake you free from a lot of hang-ups that you have when you're crawling. It doesn't require wheel speed, but what it does is it shimmies and shakes and breaks your stuck skid plates or your links or whatever it is, axles, free from whatever it is you're hung up on. So this is a fairly strong servo, as I demonstrated in the previous video for the unboxing. It's just really slow. So we're going to swap it out with one that is strong and also fast. Let me give you a before performance picture, just in case you forgot or were not watching. We'll throw the battery in. Well, yeah, I might as well use the tie down. I really do like that. That is cool. Turn that on. So, I don't know why it's blinking now. Is that normal? Okay, it stopped. So you see we got full function. This is merely to demonstrate what the servo, how the speed of it. It's actually not bad. All right, that's what it looks like. Man, the more I play with this to convince you and me, the more I think I don't need to do it. But we're here. We're going to do it. right, the servo wires run under the battery tray, so we got to get rid of all this. One can never be sure if you're actually in frame. Yeah, we're in frame. All right, so the 2 screws in the end, like I suspected, those come right out, and these are, there's some wire guides right there. Let's pull that out. That's pretty cool. These are just sort of like tabs that hold wires in, almost like they weave up and down in these little tabs right here. That's what it looks like anyway. They're in the front, a bit harder to see. Perhaps I should just unplug the servo. Wouldn't that make sense? Okay, so these just kind of sit in here, but they are particular. You got to turn the wire to fit. They're easy to go in, but not easy to come out. I don't want to break the servo wire. I don't want to damage it, even though I have, golly, I have a ton of these things. All right. A bunch of these servos that I just do not use. PowerHobby is going to come with a bunch of screws. Probably won't need them. Oh. Come on. The lighting is not great. What is important here is to take note of where the wire is and which way the bias for the servo horn, the front part of it. Here's what I mean. Where is this? Is it oriented in the truck with this towards the back or this towards the front? The spline of the servo. Now we look at it here, we can see it's towards the front. All right, towards the front. And we don't really have a clear shot at the servo horn connection with it in the truck, so we're going to break it free and then we'll be able to move it to get that. And I do want to reiterate that this servo, if this were kind of like a less serious, or maybe something that's just a trail, a very capable trail rig, man, you really wouldn't need to change the servo. It's actually pretty good. So because I broke it loose from the mount up here, I can reach the screw because now the axle's not in the way. All right, so now our servo's free. Our nice metal servo horn's chilling right there. Take note again, this could be different from servo to servo where the wire comes out, but this is what matters. The orientation down into the truck. Just what happens that with this PowerHobby, it is the same. So I'm actually going to stick it in here. Now, The fun part, where's my battery? I'm going to plug the battery back in, turn the remote on, center the steering. All right, let's move that back away. Dumbo, the transmitter binds with the receiver when you get it close, as that's in bind mode, and then any closeness after that, it will start acting funny. So I'm going to center the steering on the transmitter, 0, right there, 0, in the center. Let me get some good light for me to make sure. Okay, so the transmitter is putting out 0 for the steering. Now, when I go to plug this in, this is going to locate to a 0 position, which will then give me the best index point for the servo horn on the spline. You don't ever just want to connect your servo and your servo horn and the steering linkage before you have the truck turned on and this thing installed. That needs to get out of the way. There we go. All right, now that dropped right in there just like we knew it would. There's 4 screws here. See how it moves? We want to let it do that a little bit. All right, I can still pull the servo back and forth and a little bit of a twist. That will let me get the best alignment after the servo horn is installed. I would call that like a micro adjustment. Come on, what's going on here? There it goes. All right, still moves. So what I'm getting at is, once you secure this down and attach the servo horn to the servo, if their steering is off just a little bit and you don't want to skip another tooth over on the spline, you might be able to just wiggle this so that you can clock it. This movement that you see here might be enough. So we want to let this be just loose enough to be able to do that if it calls for it. Otherwise, you may be chasing a perfect 0 on your steering that you cannot get. See? Servo is secured, but a little bit loose. All right, so that's good. Now, you'll remember that we were not able to get the servo horn secured, or at least off, rather, without the servo being released from its mount. That's okay. The amount of adjustment that might be needed later, screw is still in there. It's cool. So we're going to apply a little bit of pressure to this servo mount and wiggle the steering. That slipped right on, just like that. And it would appear our steering is actually quite straight. All right. I'm going to grab a ball end, see if I can get some thread started. I already know, based on how straight this appears, it's a little off to the driver's side, but not a whole lot. So this is exactly what I was talking about. Now I'm going to take my little ball end and get a couple threads started. These ball ends let you screw in things off angle. So essentially I'm working around the axle and I'm getting this thing started. so that there's no chance of this coming off right here and then changing the spline alignment that I've already made what? Oh, I didn't plug anything in. Oh no. Oh shit. I guess we'll see. I forgot to plug this in to tell this thing what center is. Oh boy. Yeah, it's off. I meant to plug that in and I got ahead of myself. So with that plugged in, now that the servo has power, it's centered on there, it's centered inside the receiver. Let me back this back out and jump a spline off to the driver's or the passenger side. If you don't have some of these ball end tools, get you some because they are really, really handy. So now what I should have done before, pop this servo horn off, center the steering as I lightly apply pressure to the spline of the servo with the horn. It rested in there, and coincidentally I have the same, basically the same result. I'm slightly off that way, which is fine. Slightly off. I'm going to grab my screw and my ball end. Get that started in there. Now, if you don't want to undo your servo mount, you could throw a regular 2-milled angled wrench, Allen wrench in there, which I just might do because I think I have one. This comes with Traxxas. These come with a lot of your Traxxas crawlers. Maybe the Max. This shape made it too big. I can't fit it. Let me grab a different one. Maybe it's that one. Let's try that. All right, that one fits in nicely. That is the right one. So without having to remove the screws on the servo mount to finish off tightening this, sometimes conventional Allen tools, hex tools, are in order. Don't get rid of these. These come with basically every RC that's worth anything. Just keep them. Throw them on your little magnet mount. Now that is mounted, and you can see looking down at the RC that the steering is off to the driver's side. So we can go up here. Actually, we're going to take our steering and force it over that way as much as possible and hold it while we torque these down. Because what that's doing, see it? You see that little bit of play? Watch the wheels. Let me quit moving it. I am just simply going to take up some of this misalignment with how I'm screwing down and securing the servo itself. That is a little bit of a cheat code if you want to maintain 0 on your remote if you were just a little bit OCD like me. So torquing the servo, physically grabbing it and turning it counterclockwise, and then torquing down these screws, I am removing some of that poor alignment. Similar to a car, we're going to go in a crisscross pattern to distribute our forces equally. All right. Now, looking at it like this, it's still ever so slightly off to the left, but hardly at all. This little trick has enabled us to secure it in here and be barely barely off. So I'm going to do an eyeball adjustment on the bench. That looks pretty good. So we are clocked over just short of the 1 on this increment. It's not bad because we have all the way to, looks like 3.5. So we got plenty of adjustment there still. Now let's just have a look at the speed that we have gained from swapping out servos. See that shake? The shake is what gives us that movement off of rocks. Like how much faster that is to shake us off of obstacles. Yeah, she dances. She's a break dancer now. The speed increase is undeniable. I am quite happy with that. I'm glad I didn't just say screw it and stick with the stock one. Again, I'll say the stock one is probably just fine for somebody who's just going to trail it. I think you would be just fine with that. But if you do want some additional performance and you want to be able to shake the truck off of obstacles that does not require adding throttle, grab you an upgraded servo. And I think it's pretty obvious that this is like an $85 servo, high voltage. You can go up to 8.4, and what you're witnessing now is only 6 volts, and that is an extreme upgrade. So something to consider. These PowerHobbies, they are very good, and I just don't think I'll ever not use them. I have yet to be disappointed by them. So I'm going to call that good for this video. Clearly a success. I'm going to put this back in here. It's just 2 screws after I probably lose my mind trying to route all the wiring in that one, in that one, in that one, in that one, back and forth. Oh wait, so it's in that one, and then those 2 match. Anyway, I'll figure it out. I'll see you on the next one where we will put in that servo winch. So I hope you got something out of this video. Hope my demonstration was valuable. In the meantime, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close off the vents in these tires. I just do it with Gorilla Tape. There's a hole at 180 on each end, somewhere in there. I just tape it off with some Gorilla Tape to keep the water out. So we're going to see you in the next one. And thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Later.